Why you want to revisit this game, I don't know. But this is the match review of Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. If you like Leeds United, press subscribe. Leave some words in the comments. And yeah, we might respond to you. If you do both, you could win something. Like this Pablo Hernandez portrait. He's a good player, isn't he? I tell you what, he could come off the bench sometimes. All right, let's get into it. The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions.
Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all.
The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Podcast. This is the match review of Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. My name's Adonis, and you know me as @TheAdelites on Twitter. And it's a somewhat of a good hello from me. And joining us today is Barney @Barney___21.
All right.
Yep, and @Sam Ward LUFC.
No, then.
All right, Sam.
Hello, fuck off London.
So 1,163 days, probably 1,164 days when, by the time you hear this, that we haven't won in London. Barney, are you going to change your Twitter tag? Because ____21, it feels like you've done it deliberately to me.
I've not really thought of it, to be honest. I can do, yeah.
Was there a reason you went for so many underscores?
Because I wanted to put Barney in, and it wasn't. And every time I put Barney in, I had to put another underscore in because it'd already been used, the Twitter name. So I had to. So next time I get suspended again, I'll have to go ______.
Right, yeah.
There we go.
You don't have to. You really don't have to do it for me. If you've got some attachment to all those underscores. Yes. We weren't. The game wasn't full of underscores. It was overscoring in some ways, and too much from Arsenal. We're never going to win games where we concede 4 goals, are we? So, first thoughts then. I guess Sam, we'll go to you first.
I don't know. I can always tell in the first few minutes with Leeds. I don't know about you two. You can always tell in the first few minutes what sort of Leeds are turning up. If it's the passing sloppy from the off, it just tends to be that's how we're going to play. And it was like that today. They're on top of us like for the first 10-15, weren't they? Yeah, it's shit, isn't it? But I think a day when we don't make that many mistakes so early on or in the first half, because with second half we won that, didn't we? We won the second half 2-1. That's what I'm taking out of it.
Yeah, we won the award for the second half.
That's it, mate. Yeah. That's all we need.
There was that. I remember the trophy presentation.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, you know,
Radrazani came out with the cup, and there was Liam Cooper, you know, thanking his mum.
It's just, I don't know. It's annoying, isn't it? And to be honest, there was a part in the second half, I think it was after their 4th goal, I completely just sort of started going on my phone, was hardly watching it. I thought, we're not coming back from this. But second half was a lot better, but we just gave ourselves way too much, didn't we? You know, you can't, like you say, 4-0 down, the game's done then, isn't it? But, you know, we did come back, and positives to take, like Niall Huggins. I thought his debut was brilliant. I thought even Tyler Roberts coming on. There is positives in there. You've just got to dig that back down through the shit to find them.
Okay, Barney, first thoughts?
Just didn't get going. Just couldn't get a couple of passes together. We just couldn't get into our rhythm. And I said in the group chat, we're playing a really poor Arsenal side. Yeah, they have got some really good players, but they were a different Arsenal today from when we played them at Ellen Road. We just could not get going. I think you're right, Sam. Sometimes in the first 10-15 minutes, you sort of get a feeling how this game's going to go.
Barney, are you sponsored by a certain company that sell football club type merchandise?
I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm wearing the hoodie. Yeah, is that all right? do you want me to take it off?
Well, it'd suit the red light that you've got.
I look like one of those ladies in Austria.
Yeah,
the red light
that's
district.
Amsterdam you're thinking of. You're in the window. We're on the clock here. We better be quick.
It's expensive business. What do you reckon, Donny?
Yeah, I knew it. I was kind of confident in the week, in like leading up to this game because we've been playing so well previously, like the last 3 games. There was this whole thing with the angry Newcastle match review where I was like, "Where's my team gone?" And the last 3 games, and even parts of this game that we've returned. But as soon as I saw that Pepe and Willian were on the bench for them, and he was playing Aubameyang through the middle, I thought, "Oh dear, this isn't going to end very well." And basically, Aubameyang and I think it was Saka were kind of like their 2 up front at times, and they kept kind of changing their formation. So at times they would have 2 up front, and whenever we face a team with 2 up front, then we have to kind of shift to a 3-3-1-3, and it wasn't. We weren't doing that, so it ended up with Saka and Aubameyang kind of marking or just standing off Cooper and Ayling. And I'm not convinced by Ayling at centre back. He plays brilliantly because it's Ayling. He'll do a job there because he's an amazing utility player. I'm not convinced by Struijk at defensive midfielder. He is nowhere near the level Phillips is. Nowhere near it. Like, he's not a bad player. He's not bad,
No.
But we're used to Calvin there, who's, probably the best English defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
So the gulf in class just completely unbalanced us, and I think that was a mistake from Bielsa. He doesn't do it very often, but I mean,
sometimes
did he make a mistake?
Yeah, I think you've got to question it a bit. Sometimes he overthinks something. Where for me, I would have kept Struijk in the back 4 because they seem quite settled and are actually getting some good performances there. Clean sheet last game. And then to move it around again, and like you say, Ayling out of position, and then everyone else starts going out of position. I would have just put Dallas or Click even in the defensive midfield role and have Shackleton in further front in midfield. I think he'd overthought it, and in a way, unsettling us that much. Sort of, I think cost it a bit today. But you're allowed to ask questions of Bielsa. He does get it wrong sometimes. I think his selection was, for me anyway, was a bit wrong today.
I think there's a difference between like open criticism and questioning.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't negate what he's done for us
still
and
a mistake,
what he does
isn't it?
for us. It's like if you criticize someone, it doesn't mean that you want them to get the fuck out.
No.
But on the other hand, Costa, has he shown anything to deserve another chance from the bench?
When he came on, I thought if Costa's the answer, I thought we're fucked already, aren't we? But I saw the abuse on Twitter saying he's shit, and that's when you go about your criticism. That's not really insight into what a player is just by putting he's shit. But he scored, and there was one time when he came off the wing running into the midfield, and there was an Arsenal player next to him, and he actually showed a bit of strength for once, where usually he's quite weak and he'll fall over. And then he seemed to, I don't know if it was me, but he seemed to link up really well with Tyler Roberts today. And I think maybe that's because they've been playing together in the under-23, so you saw that partnership with them. But, I mean, he's no Harrison, is he? He's no Harrison that will just run all day, he'll trap back all day. I don't know. I think you could give him a chance again if we needed him off the bench, but I don't think he's a starter. Definitely not. No way.
Sam?
No, yeah, I agree as well. Yeah, like when he come on, you think, "Fucking hell!" I thought he was crying out for a bit of Pablo, to be honest. But like you said, he scored. That's got it's a good thing that he scored. But for me, yeah, like Barney said, he's not a starter, but if he's going to come off the bench and affect games, Tyler Roberts earlier on in the season, he didn't come off the bench and he wasn't affecting games, and now he's started to do that. Maybe we'll see that from Costa, and that's a good thing. But yeah, he's a bench player for me. Yeah, he's what it is, isn't it? With him,
I think Bielsa had to do something at half time because we were losing 3-0.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel that Costa was the answer.
No,
Every time he's come off the bench recently, he's done really poorly. And within minutes, I think, of the second half starting, he's tackled Roberts, essentially, taken the ball off him. He didn't really tackle him, but he took the ball. He took control of that situation. Okay, you never take control of the ball if you're running at your own goal with two men on you. And I blame Roberts as well for that, because he should have said, no, this is mine, get the fuck out of the way. And then passed it to, I think, Dallas or Click was free. Completely free. But instead, Roberts got out of the way and gone, oh, you can have it, Costa. And now the guy who was tracking Roberts and the two guys who were tracking Costa are all tracking Costa. So Costa's got three men on him. And then I think the guy who was tracking Roberts was Smith Rowe. And so Costa just gives it to Smith Rowe, of course. Of course he does.
The thing is, though, when the subs came on, we did see sort of a difference attacking-wise, and we did get some sort of passes together. But for me, it was more defensively. I mean, when you were saying about Pascal in midfield, I can see him playing in midfield once he gets going. He's got a hell of a lot of time in front of him. I just think that it took Phillips to get to that stage of his career under Bielsa for quite a while as well, and he was making mistakes in his first few games when he started in that position as well. But I don't know. I just think sometimes, I think you're right, Bielsa just overthinks things sometimes.
Mm.
It works sometimes. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's why it's mad. Because sometimes you think, what the fuck's he doing here? And then next thing, actually, fucking hell, that was awesome. Why didn't we think of that before?
Mm. But every now and then there's just these kind of mad decisions that don't really make any sense. Like Izzy Brown coming on, in the playoff.
Desperation, that wasn't it?
Yeah, but desperation in a weird way, like that's never going to work. But he's probably the way he thinks. He's probably like, "This is so crazy, it could work," or
Yeah.
Meslier, would we prefer if he was a little bit quicker on the ball?
Yeah, we've been in danger of doing that for a while now, hasn't he? There's been so many times where he's got out a journey and you think, fuck, that was close. But it was a matter of time before it was going to happen. And yeah, it's a shame for him. And after that, his confidence got knocked. I mean, did he get beat both times at his near post? And especially their third. It's just annoying, isn't it? But yeah, that's unfortunately, he's a keeper. If you have an off day and you lose your confidence early on, you're going to ship goals, aren't you?
Okay, so let's talk about the goals then. So Aubameyang got the ball and he put it in between Cooper and Ayling.
I think he was unsighted, was Meslier, wasn't he? I think he blocked, his view was blocked by the looks of it.
And then Aubameyang goal, and then there was a correct VAR decision.
Yes, very correct.
None didn't matter in the end, but what he did was he sort of pickaxed his toe into the ground and tripped himself over.
He was high-fiving him after as well. He was like, I've got a good penner for their lads. And then, it wasn't at all, was it? Nice to see VAR working, though, and that's what it's, them decisions is like, yeah, that's actually, that's helped us out, which is nice, and it's nice to see it working and implemented correctly.
Yeah. And then there was the Bellerin goal, which was at his near post.
Yeah. It was just too easy, that one, wasn't it?
Far
too easy. Couple of passes, Bellerin was in, got goal, far too easy. It was just, there was no pressing with that goal as well. It was all a little bit too static from the Leeds players to let that happen.
Yeah, he just sort of seemed to just float in between everyone, didn't he, Bellerin, and just sort of just find it randomly. I don't think he even meant to get that bit of space. He just sort of found himself in that space and then, presented a scoring opportunity. But by then, I think Meslier's confidence was completely shot. I think he should have definitely saved that goal, definitely.
I think that Arsenal scored potentially two of those goals against, even some of the best players in the world, and the best teams in the world. And I think that, we should always kind of take everything with a little bit of salt, with a pinch of salt, because we're here in the Premier League, and I know that Arsenal aren't having a good season, but they're a good team, and it's going to take it's taking a little while for Arteta, but it seems like he's worked out that Willian and Pepe are not doing his team any favors, because the rest of the Arsenal players are having to carry them because they don't work as hard. And he's finally playing Aubameyang through the middle. And Aubameyang is one of the best strikers in the world. I mean, if you wanted to buy him, that would be a lot of money, like 80 million, 100 million or something.
Probably about 100, I'd say, yeah.
That first goal, I think he can score that goal against anyone, against Barcelona or anyone. So I know that we hate to concede goals, and I know that Arsenal being shit is a meme this season, but they are a good team with good players. Obviously, the penalty didn't need to happen. I think somebody needs to have a word with him and just say, you've got a great temperament for a goalkeeper. It's exactly what we needed after Kiko. Just somebody who's calm, but you're being too lackadaisical when you've got the ball.
Just and you fucking twat it.
Yeah. Pick a player. Oh, I can't find a player. Oh, I'm being closed down. Fucking twat it. Boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem, though. I think someone did have a word with him. I think he probably shared a room with Kiko last night. This is how he's come out today. He thought Kiko would do this. Kiko told me to do that. It was all very Kiko. Some of the mistakes and some of the goals that he let in today. But the thing is, though, a lot of people say being a goalkeeper, you've got to have a bit of a mad moment in the game, haven't you? You've got to be mad to be a goalkeeper anyway. And hopefully he's got that out of his system now, and we'll go on to the next game, and he won't make those shit mistakes again.
So that was the first half, and it was 3-0 at half-time, and we were all thinking, well, don't really want to do a match review today. And then the second half was a lot better, wasn't it? So that mad Costa moment aside, we've won that second half quite comfortably, I think. We haven't really looked under threat from them, and we've scored a header at a corner.
Brilliant header as well. Brilliant header. I was absolutely buzzing that we scored from a corner, to be honest. But Struijk's just about our only aerial threat, really, isn't he? I know Cooper can get on the end of it sometimes, but I think that's good for him as well, because after missing them few against Palace, he needed to score one of them headers. But yeah, he did really well. I think he beat off, was it David Luiz, and then just got an absolute bullet in there. Yeah, it was good.
He beat him off.
To see him. Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Before a corner when they're jostling, he just did a bit of beating off, and then that's how he put him off.
That's kind of him. That'll put you off. You definitely have less energy after that, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be expecting it either. Surprised VAR didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
It's a powerful run, isn't it? It's a powerful run, and he's watched it all the way onto his head, and he's powered it in to the back of the goal, and it's kind of hit the back of the goal with a bound and bounced back. That's how kind of perfect it was. So that was good. That was a good thing that happened. And then Costa played a nice little 1-2, I think it was, with the Roberts, vindicating Bielsa's substitutions. And it was a tap-in the end. We could have scored more goals. They could have scored more goals. There was one point where Cooper decided that 4 wasn't enough, so he gave them the ball, and that led to Aubameyang hitting the crossbar, I think it was.
Oh, fuck yeah, that was close, wasn't it?
It's just one of those games, isn't it, where it's just nothing works at all. Second half, we seem to get a few passes together. We seem to have a bit more energy in midfield, a bit more energy going forward. But I mean, Bamford was just feeding on scraps today from Rafinha. Rafinha was not entirely on it either in the game, I didn't think, in my opinion. It's just I don't really know what else to say about the game.
No,
to be honest,
it's hard, isn't it? I think Tyler coming on, I think he did well. He really impressed me coming on. He was quite, important in how we were attacking. But yeah, what could you say? I never really felt like we were going to properly come back. It was just nice to not make it embarrassing and to not concede, not really. But there is positives to take out. There definitely is, and you've like you say, we won that second half. So London curse is done now, isn't it?
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that 3-2 away at Villa Park when Popey was like, Warrington defends his title and Leeds top of the league or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas. And it's the complete opposite of that, isn't it? Warrington gets beaten up mercilessly by a Mexican. Who had the shittest walk-on music I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't
intimidating,
was it?
It wasn't intimidating music, was it? But that was in London.
It really wasn't at all. Maybe that's the point.
But that was fucking London as well, the fight. And you just knew as soon as you lost, I was like, I can't see who's getting out from tomorrow.
Is that it? Have we done? Have we finished?
I think one positive for me was Huggins. Hopefully everyone's been listening to the youth pod, and Michael and Rob have been talking about Huggins in their recent pod about him. But I thought when he came on, look at why are we bringing him on? Is it at the right time to bring up on a first appearance for a player losing 4-0 against Arsenal? But I thought he put a right shift in. He looked really composed on the ball. Just really mature as well. I was really impressed with him.
Slotted in really well as well. Like you say, coming 4-0 down against Arsenal away, what a hell! It's a hell of a game to come on. And like you say, just straight into the tempo. And he was dead impressive. And that's a huge thing for him to come on. And he's just going to get more confidence than that for sure. Even though we lost, that is a huge positive for me.
Yeah. It was brilliant. And if you haven't seen the Niall Huggins player profile that we've done, you can check it out on our YouTube channel or in your podcast player. So I feel like I just want to put an end to this. It feels like this match review feels like a horse that's broken its leg and got cancer. And the best thing to do is just shoot it in the head.
It's the only thing to do, isn't it? Just shoot it, get a bolt gun, shoot it to the head. Fuck. I've just seen an interesting stat there. Leeds have conceded 3 or more goals in all of our London away games this season. Brilliant, that.
Okay.
Just to end on a positive.
Brilliant.
Fulham away, can't wait.
I think if the London curse is going to be broken at any moment, it's going to have to be Fulham or West Ham, isn't it?
God, ain't it? Fulham is shit, aren't they?
I mean, the London Stadium.
Oh yeah, I'd love to beat West Ham and
You'd hope so.
They're fucking bubbles. I hate them. Absolutely hate them.
Do you?
Your face, you do. Yeah.
What's this irrational hate of West Ham? Why do you hate West Ham?
I've always hated West Ham. They've always thought there's someone else that could really top London team, and they're not. They're just shit. They're just a shit East London team.
Really?
That should pipe down. Yeah. There should be. They've always been getting relegated.
Which West Ham fans have you been talking to?
I just don't like them.
I don't know a single West Ham fan who thinks that they're good. They all recognise that their team is shit and they're never going to do anything.
And Julian Dix as well. What a dickhead. How he became a professional footballer, I do not know.
It's a long-lasting
Maybe he's
danger,
related
that
to Frank Lampard. Everybody else is.
one. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Oh,
He's
fucking hell.
married into Harry Redknapp's family. Who knows?
But joking aside, though, I mean, Click in his pre-match interview, he says, "Yeah, the players know that we don't win in London." There must be something they need to do, because surely when that first goal went in and the second goal went in, they must think, what are we meant to do to win in London? It's not a joke anymore. It's quite. There's something not quite right. What is it with is it? You know when you used to go abroad and you weren't allowed to drink the water? Do you think they're drinking the water in London and something happens to them?
To be fair, London tap water is
how many
shite.
times? How many times have we been here, Barney, this season alone, talking about this? How many things have we postulated already? Is that the right word? Postulated?
I like the word.
Here we go.
I like the word. Yeah.
Suggest or assume the existence, fact, or truth of something. There you go. So how many answers, possible explanations have we postulated this season?
Been for everyone.
Fuck me.
Just about every
I've got no
one.
idea. No idea. But what I can tell you is that Arsenal played us very well, and so did Chelsea. And Spurs were always going to beat us because they also sit back. Chelsea sat back. Arsenal did the opposite. They were high pressed, and they made it very, very difficult for us to play out from the back. And so we were just playing long balls from the centre backs to the wingers or midfielders to try and get something happening. But whenever that happens, it's usually because Phillips is out, or Click and Dallas aren't dropping back to collect the ball and make things moving. Another player who drops back and collects the ball and gets things moving out from the back is Pablo Hernandez.
Yeah, he really does, doesn't he? He wants to get on the ball straight away, doesn't he? But like you said then about Struijk, I was seeing when Cooper or Ayling had the ball coming out from centre back, he just didn't seem to have the sort of make the option like Phillips would. Phillips would almost be in between them as a third centre back. But when they were running forward with the ball, I was expecting Struijk to be there and have that option. And I feel like them sort of triangles that we use to play out are important to us. But Struijk, obviously, he's not a defensive midfielder, but he just didn't seem to create them options for them. So we were, like you said, just lobbing it long. But usually there's, like you said, Phillips there where we can sort of play around the press, but it just wasn't like that today. But yeah, like you said, no Phillips, we don't have a replacement for him, and maybe that's what we look at in the summer is getting someone who, if Phillips is injured, because he does have a few injuries in him, doesn't he? And the odd yellow card and red card, maybe it is something that they're thinking of in summer. But
another thing that I noticed was that was when we had the ball trying to play out from the back. Another thing that I noticed when we didn't have the ball is this man marking system sometimes doesn't help us out because Saka, for example, was drifting infield, starting out wide and drifting infield, and Dallas would follow him. And that's where you have our free men as well. So then you've got, our two centre-backs, Dallas with Saka, and this huge fucking space on our left flank where our left back would be if we were playing zonally. And that's where I think that's probably how Bellerin got in for their goal. And they were down, they were through clean on that side of the pitch a number of times because of that.
Yeah, I know.
And that was something that he did very well, I thought.
Yeah, you notice there just seems to sometimes be huge gaps in that left, in the left back position, and they were exploiting that to the max, weren't they? But you mentioned Saka there, Donny. I think he was really good for them, and what he does really well is he's quite a small lad, but he uses his strength really well and gets in between the ball and our player. He does that really, really well. He did that sort of for the penalty. He just got into an awkward space, but yeah, he made life difficult for us today. And he's 18, 19? He's hell of a player. He's got a hell of a career ahead of him, hasn't he? But yeah,
it won't be an Arsenal though, will he?
No,
Probably sell him in a season and a half.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Rafinha is man of the match for everybody. The only one who was doing anything.
Yeah,
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Magic? Any magic moments? I guess the Struijk header.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed.
Right.
When...
So is that it then? Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Final thoughts then.
Thought.
Final thoughts, Sam. You want to say something? Final thoughts. Wrap it up.
Final thoughts.
Hey.
Shit. Done.
Okay, Barney.
Just silly mistakes. Costa does again. I fucking hate London. I hate the place. They should just have their own little separate league there, because no one else cares about London really, and their little shitty clubs. So just a separate league, and it would be fine.
Yeah, you go there, and everybody's fucking in a foul, god awful mood. They don't say hi to you. There's none of that. You know, they won't help you out. You know, they won't talk to you. They just don't even look at you. You get on the underground and you just sit there, and everybody's fucking doing their own thing, miserable as fuck. Like, welcome to Britain, you tourist. You know?
Yeah.
And then you go up to Leeds, and you know, there's some sweet old dear selling a newspaper or something. You all right, love? Are you all right? You doing okay? Do you need anything? You all right? You know where you're going? Yeah. You know, as soon as you step off the bus, there's people falling over each other to try and help you out. So if you've enjoyed this miserable fucking dirge of a podcast, why not click subscribe and all that, you know? Over on YouTube, we premiere these podcasts, and we actually do have like a nice little community going. There's Lee Smith. Who else is there? Soft Southern Bastard. See You Nova. There's loads of them. I can't. I'm sorry. I will do a proper shout out to everybody who normally comes on the chat. What that does, if you're listening on the podcast and you don't know it, basically it means that we kind of all watch along, and there's a little chat, and we will interact with you and talk to you. So if you want to talk to us, if you want to have an interaction, if you want to take this podcasting business to the next level, so it's not just all one way, and you can talk to us, then get onto YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we'll be back with a match preview and a main cast and loads of fun stuff, and hopefully some more cheery match reviews to bring you. So thank you very much for listening. It's a very goodbye from me. You can check me at The Adelites on Twitter. And joining us tonight was Barney. You can check him at Barney ___21.
Thank you very much.
And at Sam Ward LUFC was here too.
Goodbye, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Valentine's Day. Well, let me tell you, dear listener, we love you. We love you. And all the thousands of you who've been listening to us, it's been absolutely overwhelming. So if nobody else does, if nobody else loves you, you can get in touch with me and I'll give you a big smooch. That was your match review. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.